Hi guys, it's me Arlene, and I'm here today to do my much anticipated tutorials that I've been promising you guys. It's my day off, so I'm looking a bit tired and relaxed. That's because I've been resting up today, and yeah, so I'm ready. You know what, earlier on I was about to do the tutorial and I had my laptop by my counter, and my laptop suddenly fell off of the stand that I had it on and the screen cracked. So I was like, maybe that's a sign, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing these tutorials. But as I promised you guys I would do them, and I'm a woman to my word, I'm going to hold my promise. I'm going to keep my promise. Alright, so tons of you all asked me to do some natural looks, so I'm going to do something that you all can go to work with if you have an interview, you know, something professional, something day that is easy to replicate. Alright, so what I'm going to do is start with my concealer. So I won't be talking too much about the products that I'm using because I want to start doing some reviews on products, so we will go more in depth with the product when I'm actually speaking about them. So my face is clean, so I'm going to start with my concealer. So I'm going to use a concealer about 2 shades lighter than my complexion. So I'm going to start. Now I do not have a mirror in front of me, so if I am doing this weird, please excuse me, I'm just guesstimating. I'm looking at the monitor to average this. So I advise, well, I apply my concealer with my fingertips only because I feel that I can get in there and blend nicer and average how much product I am applying. Sometimes with the brush I find it to be a bit heavier, and some people like their brush. That's fine, it's not a problem. Alright, so I'm applying it in this shape because this is the area you want popping out. Yeah, and my students will know this technique only too well, and they understand why we are doing this as well. Alright, so notice how light my concealer is. Don't get scared. And I'm blending away the outer areas so that it doesn't stand out under my foundation. So as I said, I'm really guessing what I'm doing here because I'm looking at my computer monitor to see what I'm doing. Alright, then I'll apply a little bit to the side of my nose. It's a bit weird, and you're gonna look pretty weird after applying all the concealer. And why I'm doing this to the side of my nose is because these are the areas that tend to be a bit darker on the face. Side of the mouth, small amount, blend out. Alright, so now that we are looking like a freak, I'm gonna put a little bit down the strip of my nose. Yeah, I'm gonna apply my foundation. So look at my cute ring. I got this from the head makeup artist on the set of the movie Home Again. So it's a product ring. You put your product there. So I'm going in there and I'm patting my foundation. Now this is a Graftobian foundation that I'm using. I love Graftobian foundation. I should get a job at Graftobian. They should give me some royalties. The amount of people I told about this foundation who's now using it. It's really good stuff. So creamy, it's like butter. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm patting this over the entire face. So this patting strokes really help with your makeup lasting a bit longer. So I'm going to apply this a little bit faster than I usually would. Usually I would take my time and make sure I buff it in. So notice even with the amount of concealer that I applied, how natural around the eyes, but it still looks bright. It's so weird on the computer monitor. I don't know where's my left side, where's my right side. It feels so weird. But we'll make do. Over my forehead, I tend to stroke up as opposed to patting, because this area you don't want to have too much product where all the creasing takes place. This is where all the expression takes place, and if you put too much of product, it tends to settle in those areas. So you want to go stroking up first, and then only if you need a little more coverage then you pat. But my last stroke is always patting. It just blends in smoother. A small amount over the eye. This is really simple. So this is my cream foundation application over my concealer. So if you find I'm moving a little bit fast, this is my first tutorial, so I will go into more details on the different steps in upcoming videos. So just make sure that on the jaw area it blends in perfectly, because you don't want to be talking with your friend and you're seeing a demarcation, you're seeing where that stops. So what I tend to do after I blend it in smooth on the jaw area, I tend to blend it down about an inch off of the jaw into the neck. Not for color's sake, but for texture, so that the texture on the face and the neck is the same, and then there's absolutely no demarcation. Alright, so I don't know if you all observed how under my eyes looked before the application of my foundation, but to me it looks brighter with the lighter shade concealer. And you saw how much brighter the concealer was, but it blends perfectly. Yeah, so I didn't put any oil here, but you get a nice blend. Not you, baby. Alright, so notice constant pattern stroke. This avoids streaking. Your makeup stays in place longer, and you just get a nice set. So it mattifies your makeup as well. So it's like painting. If you paint on the wall and the paint dries, you are able to go back in with another coat and get a nice coverage. So I pat all the way through. Now I'm going to apply my powder, and I'm applying my powder in pretty much the same technique that I use for my foundation. And I love the rice powder. So I sell this. You could get this at my place, and it's white. Look at this white base, but it disappears. It's incredible. It disappears on the skin. I used this on a very dark woman the other day, and I was amazed. I was kind of iffy about it, like, oh my god, I've never used this on a dark complexion before. And her foundation was perfect, and I applied the rice powder on top to set the makeup, and it was incredible how well it set. So it just disappeared on the skin, and you got a nice matte finish. Rice powder, if you google it, is really good for your skin. It has anti-aging properties, really good to absorb oil. It's lovely for touch-up during the day, and it's just a really nice finishing powder. You can use this along with another powder or on its own. I tend to use it on its own because I prefer a light finish. So I'm just patting this on, and I started around the eye areas because that's where your concealer and your foundation is, so you want to set there first. So notice how it's disappearing. Once you get your perfect shade foundation, you do not need to go in there with another heavy powder. You just want something to set your makeup, a finishing powder.
Mommy, this is the one where you say talking about me.
Yeah.
Saying I got settings.
So pattern. And after I pat all the way through, I'm going to give a circular buff to give that nice airbrush finish lightly. You don't want to move the product. Light application. So your skin starts looking a bit luminous. Look at that. It doesn't look too caked on.
Mommy, I like your ring.
Thank you, honey. Alright, so I'm going to set this. So I'm spraying this. start setting under the eyes. And I like to really set my makeup, so you don't need to bathe the brush, but you want enough to apply evenly over the entire face.
Some water in it?
No, baby.
Bathe it?
No, thank you. Alright, so I'm set. Okay, so my steps are perfect, shape, and luminate. So perfecting is the technique of applying your concealer, your foundation, and your powder. So I've perfected my skin. Now I'm going to shape. So shaping is contouring. So I am going to do sort of an extreme contour, just so that you see exactly where I'm applying this. And I did not bring my brush, so we will improvise. I'm going to use my fingertips. So you would notice that I tend to always use the weakest finger on my hand, which is the ring finger. And I would start to contour. And I tend to contour from the bottom of my nose, working it into the head of the brow. And again, we'll go into more details with contouring. I'll do a tutorial strictly on contouring, and you'll understand a little bit more why I started where I started. I need to do this with a mirror next time. Look, I'm trying to get to my left, I'm going to my right. It's weird. Sorry, put that back, please. Roseanne is trying to bring a mirror closer to turn it this way. Aha, good stuff. Okay. Oh, he's so sweet. Turn it a little bit more. Turn it. Okay. Alright. So I'm just gonna lightly blend this in. Just to give it a sort of a natural look. And the next place I'm going to contour will be my cheek. So you're contouring the cheek, and I'm not going to go into too much details with where and why, because I'm going to do a separate tutorial on that. Alright, so you would notice my face structure, I'm defining it a little bit more, so you're getting more depth on the sunken areas, and on the protruding areas it looks more highlighted. Just blend that in a little bit. Okay, so I contoured. So I'm going to do a really simple day look. So I'm kind of torn. I don't know if I should just do a liner look, or I will do, okay, let me do a day look. So I am going to use Pro Base. This is my Pro Base, and this is the package. This is what it looks like. Pro Base, it says by Arlene, Villarule Exquisite Faces Limited, which is the name of my company. Pro Base, yeah. So it's this cute egg-shaped pot, and you just need a small amount. So I'm gonna pat like so, lightly. And this one is lighter than the first amplified that we had. So with this one, you would start from the center. Make sure you pat off everything, like it smoothens literally. And then you start distributing it on the outer half of the eye, and then on the inside. Again, if you have long nails, this can be done with a brush. Taklon brush, synthetic brushes work better with these cream base. So on the brow bone area, I'm gonna stroke. So notice I pat on the lower lid, that's where all the creasing and all the lines are. And then on the brow bone area, it's smoother. So you can get to it some stroking. So you want it to look like this. You don't want it too heavy. It's a day look that we're gonna do, so you don't want too much product on. So maybe, yeah, I was thinking of just doing one eye, but I'll do the both of them. I'll see how far I could get with time. So pat it off at the center, take it to the side, the outside, and then bring it in. What is left on the hand, you stroke about on the brow bone area. Center, whenever you apply, you're reapplying again, go same way, center, outer corner, towards tear duct, and then blend on the brow bone. Small amount. Alright? So now I'm going to use my Wet n Wild palette, and this is, what's the name of this one? It's a neutral tone, but where is the name? Not finding it, not gonna waste time, but it's a neutral palette. And I need to run away for a little bit. Okay, so I forgot some of my brushes at my counter. I wanted to do this at my counter. That's why my laptop fell in the first place, so I'm at my desktop. Alright, so quickly, the first thing that I'm going to do, I don't know why it's blurring out like that. I guess I'm moving too fast. So with this color, top right side of the palette, I'm going to pack my brush with that. And I'm going to start on my lower lid, starting from the center, taking it towards the outer corner, and then bringing it towards the tear duct area. So I don't like to put heavy amount of highlighter on the inner bit of my eye, so I always start at the center, take it on the outer corner, and then sweep the brush back in. And then what is left on the brush, you could pat on the top half of the eye. Just pat it on. I love patting strokes because I find that you don't mess about with the skin too much. The skin stays in place, doesn't look too wrinkled when you're done with your application. Alright, so I highlighted my eyes. So quickly, the other side, center. We're gonna pat on the center, take it on the outer corner. Always go to the outer corner first, and then bring it in towards the tear duct. You don't want inside here too heavy. And then what is left on the brush, you pat on the top half of the eye. Okay, so we highlighted there. Now this step is very important, so I'm going to come in a bit closer. Let me see if I could zoom in my camera. Alright, I can't, but I can't see that setting right now. So you are starting, okay, let me get this clear. So you see where your crease line is. So if you look at yourself in the mirror, you would notice that your crease line tends to come down, and then it looks sad, but you're not going to follow that. You're going to go just above that, just above it, not too high, and straight stroke, not making this angle. It naturally looks angle. We draw in a straight line a little bit above your crease line. If you look at yourself straight on, and I tend to look at, I don't close my eye like this and do my makeup. I tend to look at myself like that until I absolutely need to close my eyes. Alright, so again, straight line coming down on the outer half of the eye. So that's where my crease line ends. From there, I'm going to sweep this straight over. But I'm not sweeping it on the lower lid at all. I'm sweeping this above the crease line without leaving a space in between. So you won't see a space in between the crease line and this corner color. So this is a matte brown that I'm using, this color, in my Wet n Wild palette. So I'm building it up on my outer corner, because the outer corner should be heaviest in this look. So until I get to half the eyes, and then I'm going to sweep what is left on the brush all the way through. So I'm literally dragging what's on the outer corner all the way through. Alright, so you don't close your eye and do the makeup, and when you open your eye everything sinks in. So if that is happening and you're not seeing the line when you open your eye, you just go a little way above. You don't want to cover up. On top here you want to leave enough area to play with. So over the eyes, you just broaden the line a tad bit, especially on the outer corner. And while you're doing that, you're dragging what is left on the brush on the inner bit of the eye. So the top bit doesn't need to be too neat because we still have to blend. Okay? So let's do this on the other eye. So notice at the end of the crease line, a little way above, you make a straight line. From there, you're dragging this straight over. Straight over. So you're going to use the point of the brush only, so that you don't take your color too much on the lower lid. Get that to half the eyes, and then what is left on the brush, you drag it over. Now we're gonna get into the blending. So you're gonna use a blending brush, which is a soft round brush, and we are going to blend on the outer corner up and down in the same shaping that you did the first application. You went straight down, so you're gonna blend similar to that, soften that line, and then we're gonna blend above the line, the outer corner, in circular motion. And I blend towards the nose as opposed to this direction, because you created a shape that's supposed to stay within this area. You don't want it outside of there. It's a day look, so you want it nice and clean. So you're blending in towards the nose. Windshield wiper blend above that. So notice I'm not blending this lower half. I want that depth, so when I blink you get nice 3D effect. So you have your highlighter, you blend your darkest color, and then on the inner bit of the shape you blend towards the tear duct. You're just doing a sort of a drag blend so that you don't have this harsh line on the outer corner. So again on the outer corner, you'll probably see it better on this side. Up and down, circular blend towards the nose only. And you're taking your time. You're not going to blend from here and get inside there one time. You take your time. Blending takes some time until you achieve the technique, until you get that line softened on the top half of the eye. So I blended on the outer corner, then I went to the center, and now I'm going to do windshield wiper on the inner bit. So the reason why you're going to do windshield wiper inside here is because you don't want the blending here to be as high as the outer corner. Yeah? So you have your blend on the lower lid, dragging from the outside in. So I'll do this a little bit slower, so it doesn't look too harsh on the outside there, softer. So now we're going to do a step called accentuating. So accentuating is adding a color with of interest and contrast to your corner color. So today I'm going to use a little bit of this orangey tone here. So just one small part, you don't want too much, so I part of the excess, and you're going to part on the blended areas only, just on top of the blended areas, and then you stroke. So I'm patting it off first to distribute the color evenly throughout the eye, and then I'm going to stroke. So just a little more interest to the natural look. Same thing on the other side. Only patting on the blended areas, then you stroke. You're going to do the same thing on the lower lid. Drag, blend though. So I'm blending from the outside in, and so that I don't have a harsh line on the inside where these two colors connect, I'm going to pull in the opposite direction. So from outside in and then pull, so it looks like a sort of a third color right there. Okay. So now I am going to line my eyes. Just now, I'm going to use a black gel eyeliner with an angle brush, like so. And I'm going to start where my crease line ends. I want this to clear up. So just where my crease line ends, you touch the crease line and you give that angle. So you touch the top of your crease line, pulling it in towards the opening of the eye. And to the top of that line, you take this straight over, therefore giving you a wing. So I do this until I get to, I really needed a mirror for this. So I'm using my computer screen and trying my best. So staying low, and then I'm going to flip the brush. So the angle of the brush, the point is on the outside, so when I get to the center, I'm going to turn it so the point is now facing the inside. And I'm going to continue to pull towards the initial line. Pull, connect until I get towards my tear duct. So after you achieve your line, you just go in there and you straighten up accordingly. Trying to source a mirror right now. I'm a bit of a perfectionist with my lines. So after you achieve the line, you just go back in and you try to get your line as neat as possible. Small, short strokes will help. Okay, so even though it's a natural look, your liner pops it out. Alright, so let's quickly do this on the other side. So again, look at your eyes, don't raise the eye like that, leave it natural. Where your crease line ends, you take the point of your brush and you pull that in. Really simple. From there, you're winging it over. Flip your brush when you get to the center and keep connecting, short strokes. Ooh, I got some product on my face. Connect until you get towards the tear duct. Why am I constantly messing up my face? Maybe I was supposed to have a mole there. Alright, so we got a bit of a wing on the outside. So we're going to take that same liner and we're going to line the lash line. So literally just applying the brush back and forth. Until you get towards the tear duct. So this does not go on your waterline. Okay, then we take a black pencil and we line our waterline. Because I don't apply the gel liner on my waterline. What I tend to do is with the corner brush, just lightly soften the outer edges of this gel liner by stroking on it before it dries back and forth. Now it's my preference to have a heavier black line, but of course you can go much thinner with this. So we already softened the liner to the bottom there with our corner brush, which is the same brush we used on the outer corner. So what trick is, so we already have the corner looking nice and blended and soft, but if you want to intensify it a little bit more with the gel liner that you just soften the eyes with, you could take this brush and just sweep it in and get a little more intense with your corner color. You're just mirroring the same shape that you created. This is if you want a little more drama, but I'm keeping it very close to the line of the eye. So you get this eye looking a little more intense. For those of you who like a little bit more depth in your outer corner. Natural is fine, but of course we can pop it. So you just continue to soften it. You could go back in with your blending brush and just stroke back and forth. So see the big difference? So I'm going to do the same thing, get a little bit from here. And just continue to blend. Go and get something inside. And you blend with the blending brush. Alright. So it doesn't look too intense, it's just enough. Of course you could have gone softer before I applied the black from the liner. So now I'm going to jump into my brow. So I like to do my brow with a gel eyeliner. So I'm going to use a matte brown gel eyeliner. And from the thickest part of my brow, just behind the head of the brow. I'm going to take this straight over. So I usually define the outer, the bottom and the top half. Just make it two parallel lines. And then you start filling in what is left on the brush to form your shape. So you don't want the head of the brow too heavy, so you apply a lighter application inside here. Alright, so it looks a bit softer inside here. So it's my pet peeve to see a defined line inside. I don't like it at all. So see the difference? So again, from the thickest part of the head of the brow, take this over, then go to the top, forming two lines, top and bottom, connect on the outside, so it's weird. I don't usually do my brows so thick. Alright, so I'm going to just use my powder brush and lightly pat over my brow to soften it and just give it the appearance of a more natural look. And now I'm going to apply my blush. So my contour is here, so I'm going to apply the blush above the contour. So I'm going to use, because I accentuate with an orange tone, I'm going to blush with an orange tone as well, actually the same color. So it looks scary there. It's a burnt orange. I'm going to pat off the excess and I'm going to blend from my contour line up. So it looks like your dark defined line there, blending up. So it's similar to the blend that you did on the eye. From the heaviest corner, blending up into a lighter, more natural finish. It's scary when you see a lot of blush to the top half of the cheekbone, so close to the eye. So I tend to bring it from the bottom up, so it looks a little more tame. Same. And we're going to use a bit of a bronzer on the, I'm going to use my bronzer just above the blush. If you want, babe, put some. With my powder brush, I just stroke upward and blend everything in. So I'm going to quickly use my personal mascara. So I'm not going to use any disposable mascara one. This is my personal mascara. And on your eyelashes on the outer corner, you literally want to feel the one going all the way around. All the way around. Pull it out. You do the center. You do in a bit. Try to roll, like rotate the one, and then give a zigzag, pushing all the way up from the bottom. Zigzag and push, zigzag and push. I want to do it more to the root of the eyelash, and then with the tip of the wand, I stroke back and forth. I don't like to see too much of mascara on the lower lash, just enough to get rid of the excess product. And I'm going to use my NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream on my lip. I mean, those of y'all who know me know that I don't like too much of product on my lip. I'll just wear a gloss or something very nude. So I'm going to use this. To give the lip a nude finish. Okay, baby. So I'm not going to line my lips today because I just want nude and sexy. So this is my look. This is my natural look for y'all today. And of course, it's a simple look. You could get away with murder with this look. You could intensify it a little bit more, like what I did with the black on the outer corner with a little bit of gel eyeliner that I stroked from the bottom. Just stroking it to give a little more depth. And very simple. Very, very soft colors. But my liner, I like my liner to play up the look a little bit. So do soft eye and a little more intense eyeliner. You saw how we achieved the wing. It's not as neat as I usually would because I didn't have my mirror directly in front of me as I usually would. But this is it. So tell me what you guys think of it. Any questions, you could just post them up and I'll answer accordingly. Love you.